Time to play the game.
Well, here we are again.
Oh, great. OG.
It's The Last of Us Part 2.
It's my favorite game. Boat. I love Boat. Well, here we go. I guess we can just do... Let's just do New Game Plus. Fuck it. Yes. Sure. Whatever. Yeah.
I don't fucking know.
Yeah, there you go.
That works.
Yeah. Okay. Let's see what we got here. Custom players is extremely vulnerable. Frequent. Wait. So you can... Grounded, very vulnerable. Enemies, grounded. Allies, also grounded.
Oh, they're just gonna not even be there.
No, it says aggressiveness of allies in combat.
Yeah, and you just made them as passive as possible.
Okay, that's fine. Stealth. Well, I feel like we should make it so low that if I fuck up, then I deserve it. Resources. Let's make them really common. So, we'll have a lot of fun fighting, but if, you know...
I don't know about the ally being passive, though. It's
No, it's funny. It's funny that way. Yeah, this is all fine. Yeah. Oh, this is gonna be great. Fucking ace. Okay, here we go. It's loading. There are the moths. There are the moths. They're fluttering. They're flying away. Oh, fuck. Just like breathing an air bubble. So, this game, not a lot of people like this game. There's a lot of people out there that hate this game for what it is. And I'm not one of those people. When the game reviews came out, I was like... Well, when the game got leaked, that's the first thing we should mention. When the game got leaked, it was not so good. It was not a good time. The only thing that came out of that leak that was good was the Mega 64 video they made on it. He's like in the fucking he's sitting in the computer room and he's just like, I need some time to sleep, and he's like just like screaming.
I was supposed to take her to the fire.
And when the game finally came out, people still shit on it.
Yeah, there was like only a handful of people that were actually like trying to make the game, you know, seem a lot better than it was. For me, my biggest problem with this game is the way the story ends, which we'll get there when we get there, but
maybe I just want to do right by her.
I don't know. I don't know how, like, I think we've discussed this before, but
I'm sure we have.
I don't know how you feel about the game's story overall. For me, it's always going to be incomplete. It's always going to be hollow at the end. And maybe that was their intention, you know, to make it hollow. To make the journey pointless.
Maybe.
Doctor, what are you doing?
I gotta fix something. Excuse me a second.
Go right ahead. But I wouldn't even say it's just the ending. It's really the whole plot in general is just... Feels like they skipped a game to jump into this one, almost.
Jesus Christ, Joe.
Like, we should have had a game in between this one and the first,
You do.
focusing on Abby, the new character, and her group. grown attached to them.
Saved her.
Back half of the game, you're on the journey to kill this person who killed your father. And then the last 5 minutes or so, she just bashes Joel's head in, and then cut to black. Then this game starts. And you're just going to be conflicted on which character to root for. It's one big shock, almost.
Yeah.
To the second that way.
When the first game ended, when you finished the first game, and it was just ending with them, giving that look to each other. He's like, "Is there something you want to tell me?" He's like, No, everything's fine. Turns out they had a cure. And we'll never talk about it again. That, for me...
That would have been a perfect ending.
That would have been a perfect... Let's not mince words here. Perfect fucking hang to just leave it, never talking about it again. Fast forward, 4-5 years later, after the game is made, maybe you make a sequel with improved combat like they did with this, except totally different story in the universe. I would have preferred that. And then they're like, "Oh no, you're playing as Ellie," and I'm like, "Okay, but why? Are we going back to the story? I thought we were going to leave that alone." Oh, and then we find out that she finds out, and I'm like,
We knew it was coming either way. They kind of left it off. But
this isn't going to be like, we're not here to just be like, "Oh, we're playing through the game, watch the story." No. I'm just here to basically comment while I play the game. And basically it's a video essay at this point, where we're just here to talk about the game and not really reference anything that's going on. Cause people have already beaten this to death, People have gone over and over it.
They've beaten this thing to death with a club.
Yeah, with a golf club. This is the start of the game. Looks pretty good.
This whole section here, it's just short and practically meaningless, though.
I mean, it's fine. It is what it is. I don't really hate it for what it is. It's just kind of like getting you back into the world, getting you back into the characters, and this is one of the only times where you walk around as Joel, so it's fine.
All right, it's fair enough, I guess.
But I feel like they gave a couple of Joel segments, but this is the only time where you actually play with him.
I agree with you that the first game's ending was fine as is, and they should have left it alone. But if they were gonna go back to it, they really should have went. Like you said, new characters, new area, which I feel
new part of the country, that's.
Which I feel that's what they did with Abby and her group.
Yeah, they tried doing that.
Except they tied it directly into this from the start. It would have been better if it had nothing to do with this story, Joel and Ellie.
Yeah.
Throughout the majority of the game, maybe touch it at the end if you really want to.
We were having the discussion. Okay, so you have to connect it back to the previous characters. What do? There's a couple things you could do. But the most logical one that we came up with was the second game would have just been Abby's journey to find Joel.
It's not even just her journey. It's the aftermath of the slaughter at the Fireflies.
We don't show that part though. We agreed on that.
Well, we don't show what happened to her father.
We don't show we don't show the Firefly thing. Period. And I'll tell you why. The impact of finding Joel is going to hit home when you get to the end. Because all the stuff contextually with the themes of the story and moving on and whatever, that's going to hit home more when her and her friends finally get there, and all this time they were talking about this guy. They were talking about the main character from the first game. And
all right,
they never mention his name. They never mention his name.
That's important. They don't mention his name.
They don't mention his name. It's just some guy. Some detestable man. that she's going after, that she's going to take down, and it's her mission.
I think the journey aspect shouldn't be the entirety of the game. It should be like the back half, back third, maybe. Whole rest of it should be focused on the community, some other conflict potentially, and
yeah, I honestly...
This whole time she's haunted by her desire to go kill this man.
Honestly, I would have just liked a trek like the first game. I would have liked a trek like the first game, where they just truck across.
Well, then they could have actually done that for the third game if they would have done that, where you would have been Ellie hunting Abby down instead of what we got in this game. Which we'll see when we get there, but there's no trek.
It's kind of all over the place. Like the pacing, I don't mind it, but a lot of people had a problem with it. Where you're just like jumping back and forth. Nobody's ever done it before, which I guess
it's just weird how in the first game it's so hard for two people to make it as far as they did.
Yeah.
Yet in this game they seemingly travel across country almost.
Yeah, they just teleport. They
get there unscathed.
And we would probably find this a little bit more forgiving if we saw that journey. If you saw the journey of getting from point A to point B, then with all of them intact, mind you, with all of them intact, then I would have made this, then this would have been a lot better for me.
Yeah, the whole post Joel Abby thing with Ellie where they just cuts to them leaving, and then cuts them in, what was it, Seattle?
Yeah,
they shouldn't have gotten there until halfway through the game. There should have been the journey, and
there should have been at least like a chapter or two making their way over to Seattle.
Maybe they deal with some raiders, they deal with a lot of infected.
Like day one should have just been the trek.
Ellie?
I know it wouldn't have taken a day just to get there, but day one...
Well, it would be day one for the trek, and then instead of day 2, we skip to, like, day 15 or something.
Well, it's supposed to line up with their stories. I think it's a dumb choice, also, that they did that, where they're just like, oh, we're going to have 3 days, and it's a timeline, and what were these characters doing at this time, and they meet up during the timeline.
Well, they would do the same thing. Day 1, like you said, would be the trek, then we'd skip to them getting there, like, day 15. And they would just say day 15 for Abby, too. Well, after her bit. They could do day 1. We could do a little bit of that going back, or at least a cut scene, and then skip ahead to where her back there started. Because her getting there is a little more believable just because of how big of a group it is.
So one of the biggest problems, not to change topics, but let's talk about Joel for a second, considering... we're not going to be seeing him soon. Let's let this monologue be the send-off for the rest of the game. A lot of people have a problem with this game because it kills Joel right off the bat. And when we get to the scene, it's actually going to take a while. Actually, fuck this cutscene. Just fuck this cutscene. We don't need to see this.
It's them pretty much talking about... Oh yeah, and there's a guitar moment.
Yeah, the guitar. The guitar is supposed to be their connection to each other, which is fine. I don't mind that. Oh yeah, that's right. You got to do this. This terrible fucking minigame.
But hey, if you actually know guitar and you want to go around dicking around with it later, you can. So there's that.
I just don't care.
But then again, why would you be picking this game to play guitar? There's other games you can do it.
Okay. Skip that.
Or you could just pick up an actual fucking guitar.
Yeah. A guitar. So anyways, back to Joel eulogy. Joel was a great character, wasn't he? He was a great character. You watch this shell of a man in the first game become a person again. And I love it. And it's great. Because, there's a lot of stories that are like that, where the character... It makes me think of Up. That's what it makes me think of. It makes me think of Up, or, any kind of movie where there's, like, an old guy, old person, and a little kid. There are other movies that are like that. There's a movie... about an assassin teaching a little girl the tricks of the trade. I forget what it's called. It's called it's some French movie. Anyways, So they spend that whole first game basically making him a person again, and then he finally has a connection. He has a reason to live because he's been just kind of walking through life empty ever since his daughter gets killed. And now that everything has been finished, everything's wrapped up, everything's finished, and now we have a new character essentially, an old man who is, you know, happy to have his daughter back, essentially, his surrogate daughter, which is a little creepy when you think about it, but it's fine.
I mean, he does, but doesn't at this point. I mean, the opening scene, and then 4-year skip, we didn't even need that opening scene. You ride a horse and you play guitar, and there's a brief.
Yeah, it was a weird way of opening up.
They probably would have just better off skipping to right.
I said it earlier, but it's like, I guess it's their way of like getting you into the game, like getting you back into this world. But I think
then what the hell are we doing here, walking around town for a bit?
Well, no, the town scene is important. I'll tell you why.
It is but still.
The town, if they started right here, like hard cuts started right here, the town scene would be fine. But
Shut up.
the town is important because it wants to show you, like, you weren't in that town in the first game.
Yes.
So one, you want to see exactly what their community is like. That was like one of the things they were like, oh, this looks cool.
This community that you're going to be in for about an hour into the game.
Well, I mean, the community is here to set the stage, like where they've been, you know, since the last game. They've just been
This would have been
chilling. I fucking love this idea of just like being in a community.
I
in an apocalypse.
If you want to get back into it, now would be the time to do it with this.
Yeah.
That whole opening we didn't need. We could have just started right here, and it would be the same thing.
Yeah, I guess. It's whatever.
I'd say that's the only pointless flashback is the opening one.
Yeah.
All the other ones they could have worked in. Even if they would have went with a 3-game model, they would have worked those in the third game.
Excuse me.
So, anyways, Joel's character changes by the end of the game.
We're okay. Right?
And
You and me?
by the time, you know, and then again, years have gone by.
I know. It was just...
And a lot of people have arguments like, oh, Joel would never put himself in that kind of situation. Joel is not that trusting. He's killed a lot of people. He knows how to keep himself.
Oh, we're going to the whole why he trusted Abby.
Yeah, why did he trust Abby? And we need to address it. Fuck you, dog. We need to address it. I'd actually the old man's more interesting. Look at him.
That is definitely you in this time.
Look at that guy. He's just like doodle doodle. Anyways, like,
But yeah, it's been how many years now? He's been in a community the entire time,
hanging out with his brother. They've been basically like living life, apart from
I'm sure they've had their run-ins with things.
They've had like a couple times where they've gone outside and had to fire a gun. Whoop-de-fucking-do.
But at the same time, this is a situation where there was a lot of infected upon them. They just ran into 2 people, and they kind of helped each other at first.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
She didn't really give him a reason not to be trusted.
Yeah,
The only time, the second she did was the second they shot his kneecap out. At that point, I don't care how tough he is. He's not walking away from that.
Yeah, it is what it is. You know, at the end of the day,
When you go out, I want you to train Tommy and Joel.
He's older and he's human.
He's older and he's human. He makes mistakes. I find that 10 times more believable than whatever else they could have pulled him out of their ass. That's not my problem.
I was gonna check out the creek.
And you know, it's supposed to set the stage of the revenge story. It's supposed to be shocking.
Not really.
But at the same time,
Baby.
I don't know. I think it shouldn't have been shocking the death itself, but who was doing it. That's why I like my idea of a 3-game model.
That's...
You get used to this character who you don't think has any connection to this, and turns out,
that
she's
would have
going to kill him. And then you're shocked. Holy shit, I like this person now. And she killed this character I like.
Yeah, that's the thing, is that...
That would have been more shocking than, oh no, he died by somebody
that ends on a cliffhanger like that. and it's like, holy fucking shit.
Okay.
Like, that's how the second game ends. People's
Not even
minds
his
would
head
fuck-
bashed in. Would just cut to Ellie's face, staring at like holy fucking shit, and then
Yeah.
cut it. But still,
Give me a minute.
even if they weren't doing this and they were just gonna go with just the second game, we should have known the person doing it before it happened.
Crazy. Absolutely.
Because if they expect you to play half the game as her, they did a poor job of introducing her just
Hey, guys.
the way they did it
step
because of
out.
that. You don't know anything about her except she killed a character you like, and then you gotta play as.
And that's kind of like, I see what they were trying to do. They're trying to make it sympathetic from Ellie's
They're
perspective.
trying to make it look, yeah, but then when
sympathetic
you get to,
from Ellie's perspective, so that when you do all these horrible things to people that you don't even know,
Totally get it.
and then they're supposed to backpedal it for the other
yeah,
latter
then you
half.
go to her and you realize, hey, maybe she wasn't so bad, but at this point you already determined you don't like her from what she did. A lot of fans did.
A lot of people were. That's the pushback, and that was the risk, and it didn't pay off the way they thought it was going to. And if they had planned it out better,
You know what I love?
if they were smarter about it, a lot of people told me that their idea for a revenge mission was actually the first
Like it going.
idea they had before for a story before making Last of Us 1, and that kind of shows like
This kid so much.
how rushed rushed the development process was. I don't know if they were rushed to push this out the door, but
They probably rushed the storyboard.
I know there was crunch time, but
As
there's
far
always
as-
crunch time.
I don't know about development, but definitely the story parts. They rushed some bits through.
Sucker that kid.
But visually, the game is not bad at all. It's actually
I'm
pretty
gonna come over
good.
there and fight you, like,
Some
for
bits I would
real.
even call stunning.
I'm coming for you,
The
Tiny.
gameplay, damn. I'm not a fan of the gameplay in the first game. But I actually really enjoyed it in this one. I mean, not the snowball fight.
I'm okay with the gameplay in the I'm okay with the gameplay in the other one. I think it's pretty good. I
This
thought
game improved on it so much.
Oh well, yeah, absolutely. Like,
I thought it was pretty generic, if at best, in the first game. But
I've actually
this-
never failed. Fun fact: I've actually never failed this, so I want to kind of see what happens. I'm not really trying here.
It doesn't make a difference. I think it's a line of dialogue.
You can't get me.
Kids probably say, "Hey, you suck" or something.
Yeah, you better run.
I mean, that
You
kid just
better run.
hit herself in the head.
Whoa!
If this place ever got attacked, she'd be the one shooting herself in the head on accident.
Ow! Who taught you that? Ow!
Ow! Ow! I'm getting fucked.
You're screaming out from a snowball.
I don't know. Sometimes snowballs hurt.
Eat snow!
Anywho,
Boom! Eat snow, you little shit!
yeah. So,
Hey, watch your fucking mouth, kid.
it's no you little fucking turds, fucking turd munchers.
Oh, I'm gonna get ya!
Wah!
You're not a child.
Oh, I missed.
Help you.
You're still winning.
Face.
How? I'm not even doing. I'm not even.
Dina's
trying-
probably doing it, even though she's passive as hell.
Oh!
Oh, you can't run.
Every time they run, man.
Eat it, shrimps!
Well, I tried to fail, but the game just
No!
Another issue with this game.
her Dina.
No, just characters in general.
Dina
There's
the
so
Dino-
many blank characters.
There's-
Stagnant.
Yeah.
You don't care for them and that.
I say Dina is the worst of it.
I mean,
Dina-
I just thought about this right now. I didn't even think about the first playthrough I did. But that kid just jumped on a pregnant lady. They just dogpiled on her.
Well, she's like, what?
I know it's early on, but still.
She's 1 week pregnant. She's like 2
Alright,
weeks
we actually have
preggers
some work to do. Scram.
at this point, so that's
it,
like
could,
not.
it could be. It's probably closer to a month.
Yep.
Let's be honest with the timeline. By the time they actually get to the damn place, they really didn't go into that much detail. But
So, Jesse...
yeah,
It had to have been.
It's got to be at least a month.
It had to have been at least a week. You want to know why I say this?
It's
Because
more than a week because I think they
I
just
don't like this room.
broke up a week prior to this.
Morning, girls.
Morning.
On top of that, she starts showing signs at some point and notices that she's pregnant.
Yeah, I don't know.
So it's got to be at least a month, maybe even 2.
I don't know. Whatever.
It's not showing much, but she is.
Yeah.
No, what's
And
her
then
name?
you remember.
What's her name? Mel or whatever her name is. She's definitely more
Then you
pregnant.
remember the horse.
You know, Red Dead 2 had horse balls that would shrink and grow. This game doesn't even have the horse balls.
Didn't have
That's already half a point off.
another half point for not showing horse cock.
Come on.
How much impactful would this scene right here be if the horse's dick was just flailing around?
Yeah, it would have been a lot better. They should have fixed it. Should have added it into the game.
It's
Just
gonna
have-
be, it's gonna be in the George Lucas redub.
Look who decided to
When
join
they
us.
remastered.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It
George.
was his original. It was Neil Druckmann's original vision to have those horse dicks just flailing around
One for you.
like pool noodles.
like fucking pool noodles.
Settle down, Joe.
So
All right.
getting back to Joel for a
Go on, have the
second.
drill.
Um,
When you're
It's
out,
symbolist.
lock your logbook.
you know, another thing that a lot of people say is killing Joel was not a good move because
I don't get that. It's the most
'cause-
logical move. He's a shit person by the end of the first game. He's a selfish bastard, despite how much you sympathize with him. and his
I think
reasons.
people just fell in love with the characters so much that they're unwilling to see them die.
Well, that obviously.
I that's what I think it is. I think people are.
It's kind of like in Walking Dead, even comics. Obviously, the show's not over, but I mean,
I haven't watched the
there's
show.
no reason for spoilers, warnings, or anything anymore. We're already gone way past that point. So
I
fuck it.
haven't watched.
But
I haven't watched Walking Dead since since they killed Carl.
that was a dumb move. But the comic book's already over. It's been over for a while. But second last issue, they kill Rick. I'm sure some people were flipping out at that, even though it kind of fit. Actually, there were some people flipping out because of how it happened. Because in that issue, he essentially stops a civil war from breaking out, or an unrest in the city. I think it's everybody back on a more peaceful track. Really good speech they have him give, and then the daughter of the person in charge, or the son.
Are you talking about the TV show or
I'm
the
talking about the book.
Talking about the book. Okay.
The son of the person in charge of this community, with the Commonwealth, which are actually just getting in the show, but it's heavily different because of different characters at different points now. Rick's not even in the show anymore. But yeah, the woman in charge, her son just walks into his room and shoots him while he's sleeping. He wakes up, but just shoots him right in bed.
Yeah,
It's supposed to be everybody that was flipping out was saying, "Hey, he survived all this stuff, and then just some kid that shoots him." Yeah, that's probably about how it would go.
yeah. Sometimes people just die randomly on accident. It's nobody's fault. It just happened. There's no grand. It's like when Hitler shot himself in the bunker. You know, that's how wars end.
I was actually going to say another moment in Walking Dead. I mean, in the show, not in the show, in the books, the character of Father Gabriel's at the top of a water tower. He just trips going down the ladder, breaks his leg at the bottom, and he's just dangling there, bleeding out. And then one of the villains at the time just happens to walk up on him and just guts him, all because he slipped and fell.
Yep.
But the Rick dying thing, it makes sense in that aspect. Someone had to snuck up on him when he was vulnerable, when he was in bed sleeping.
Wandering around out here by
At this point, he has one hand and he's a cripple too.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
You too.
So here's Abby.
it was also a coward doing it. But
Here's Abby.
enough about that. Here's Abby.
keep going?
Last was part 2.
Just drive all the way to Mexico.
Muscle lady.
That's another thing. Because you don't get any backstory with her, you're looking at her right now thinking, how the hell is she this buff? Then when you actually get to her place, holy shit, they have the biggest gym. It makes sense then.
Well, I mean, it takes a while. Like, the backpedaling's so bad.
You did
It
all
takes
this in the
forever
dark.
for this shit to happen. And for me personally, like, just in general,
the backpedaling's so late into the game, too.
yeah, it's...
You really should have been showing her stuff at the very least. If they were going to just do this game like this, they should have had her part and then Ellie's part.
Yeah,
if anything.
Going like
I
this,
agree.
I'm tired for
I
this.
agree. The problem is
Then you're going through Ellie's part, you're killing these people, hey, and then you realize, holy shit, you know these people that you're murdering. It's instead of in hindsight is horrifying. It's horrifying while you're
that
doing
would
it.
have been even more bold if they just dropped you right into day one.
For Abby.
And just didn't even explain like what's going on timeline wise.
All you know is that someone's attacking you. It's Tommy, of course.
Turns out Tommy's been going on a murder spree, which he's another part of this that I feel like was maybe not. It got like cut on the. It got like chopped off on the cutting floor.
Possibly, but
'Cause,
I
like-
kind of liked his limited involvement. You just saw the. Shit
You only
that he
saw
left
the
behind.
trail. You saw the trail that he leaves behind, but there's like.
They could have done more, but I like that
You
aspect
can do it,
for
I
the
can do it.
majority of the game. You gotta go back up
Oh
the way you
yeah,
can.
hypothermia.
I like the fact that if there would have been most of the game instead of all of the game,
Oh,
that
right.
you're just seeing the
Just doesn't know how
aftermath
to
of
play
what
the
it is.
game. Wait.
You gotta run.
Okay, this is the. Okay, that's.
But
the,
yeah, if you would have started off with Abby's side in this game now, that would have been even better, because then you're playing through Ellie's half, you're killing these people you recognize, so you're seeing them dead from her perspective.
What's the jump button?
I
I
don't know.
forget.
Figure it out.
I forget. Honestly, I'm not
Start it.
fucking around. Okay,
There
there
you
we
go.
go. There we go. Figured it out.
But yeah, I mean, you're playing as her now. I mean, what's the point of playing as her now and then cutting back to Ellie for
It's too high.
6, 7, 8 hours or whatever it is? You should have just stuck with her, then got to Ellie, and then you're doing the Trek stuff, killing them,
This is a
and you
thing.
feel like shit while you're doing it.
This is a
because you
character.
realize I like this character that I'm killing.
This is
She's not as bad as Ellie thinks. Ellie, what are you doing? Why are you killing these people this badly?
Yeah.
You don't need to be this violent. I mean, anti-violence obviously is a message or theme in this damn thing. That would have gotten it across even better.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what they were thinking in that aspect. But it's
I think they want people to play more of the game and before you played as Abby, because they know some people just shut the game off at that point.
yeah, I don't know how I don't know how people got all the way through if they were like
The only problem with that part of the story is one of the best levels in this game, if not several of them, take place during Abby's storyline.
yeah, she has a lot of good gameplay segments, and I like some of it. I like
I
some
say
of
she
it.
has the best gameplay segments overall.
That's what anyone else said.
I like some of Ellie's. Like there's the one where you're in like the water area and you're just going in and out of the water.
That was pretty alright, but Abby's got the skyscraper bit. She's got the Rat King, which is one of the best levels in this damn series.
It isn't one of the best. It is the best.
Alright,
The
you've
Rat
heard it
King,
here, folks. The Rat King is the best moment in the whole damn
the
series.
Rat King is the best part of the game, and it's with her section. And it doesn't have much to do with the story. It's just like
But
I gotta cut through this area to get back to the main plot, and it's just a sidewinder. But they put it in the game, and it's literally the best sequence of the entire game.
I mean, there's an easy fix to that, though. Now I think about it. I mean, if Abby's section's first, then we go to Ellie's. You got to give her a section on that level or close to it. Because Ellie's, hey, you're going through day one. You're walking through the city.
Yeah.
Your horse dies. You get captured. You get out. You find a place.
Mm-hmm.
Day 2, you're walking around the city. Day 3,
Yeah.
you're walking around more of the city.
Yeah. I don't know.
Then your friend shows up at the end of day 2.
How would you feel
Just
about
randomly.
like you know what they should make the third game about? They should be like fuck the story and just like make an open world Last of Us. That would be kind of cool.
That wouldn't be bad.
I would like.
Or they go even bolder and it just cuts to the opening. You're playing it back as Abby again. And they finally reach the land. Somehow Ellie caught up, and then these pirates just show up and just gun them down.
Hilarious.
Just as a fuck you, we're doing something completely different now. But it'd be equally dumb, I think, because there's no way they get back together after the end of this game. There'd be too much.
Yeah, you know what
That'd be anti Deus Ex Machina.
you know
It'd just be a
what
joke.
you know what this fucking game makes me think of? It makes me think of The Last Jedi. Do you know why?
Why?
The Last Jedi basically had a problem where, remember at the end of The Last Jedi, and how I don't know about you, but I had a feeling like I don't care to see the sequel after this one. The story, there's no... In Empire Strikes Back, there's a cliffhanger. There's a reason to keep watching the story and wanting to know what's going to happen in the third movie. By the end of The Last Jedi, it doesn't look like there's anything going to happen. Nothing is set up that we're going to see.
All you get is they were hiding on this planet briefly after the whole ship thing.
And now, like, they're trying to move on or whatever. I don't know. It's...
Well, yeah, you had the whole Luke thing, which was just... You thought it was going to be this big epic fight. Turns out he wasn't even actually there, and he just dodged.
Yeah, I don't know.
That was one of the dumb moments of
But by the end of this game...
That's one of the stupid moments in that movie where they subverted expectations.
By the end of this game doesn't really leave much up for the story either. Like, if they were going to continue Ellie's story, what's left to tell?
If anything, I mean, she finally... Somehow she teleports all the way back and returns there. That's the thing. She gets back to the house that she's... and Dina were at, and the kid... What's the kid's name? Did they name it Joel or something stupid? I thought so. I don't fucking know. Either way...
They probably named it after the Asian dude.
Either way...
The Asian dude that gets killed almost.
Yeah, his character had more to it than Dina's did, and you see her more of the game.
That's like a cracked rib right there. It's okay, walk it off. Well, we already played through the game, so
we got unlimited ammo and slow-mo on the game, so we're playing it easy, despite how tough the enemies are.
We're just having fun, really. The enemies can fuck me up, though.
Yeah, we didn't make it completely god mode or anything. I mean, look at that.
Oh my god, did you see that?
Damn.
Oh my god, fucking...
Dodge.
Jesus.
Yeah, as you can see here, these enemies can and will fuck us up.
Damn.
Just start punching the bitch.
I was like trying to...
We already know Abby has the ability to...
Well, I know, and I got...
For whatever reason, they made her fight unarmed like Joel, and gave Ellie the knife, which...
I love that knife. I prefer it over punching, because I'm just a stealth guy.
I mean, I know she can almost one-punch some of the infected.
One punch!
Something Joel couldn't do, but still. It makes no sense at this point, they're still crafting shivs. Even in the first game, it makes no sense.
Stay down.
If they can keep finding all this ammo, they can find knives. Rusted or not.
I remember there was another guy around here. Oh, there we go. Oh no, there's two now. I hate the pistol. Oh, God. Oh, jeez. Ooh. Ooh.
Just start punching.
I forget how to punch. Okay, I remembered how to
That scream is kind of funny.
I remember how to punch now. I haven't played this game in God knows how long.
Oh no, her shoulder.
I'm trying to... Here, wait. I apologize, because I haven't played this game in forever, and I'm trying to remember all the controls again. My instincts are slowly coming back. And the game is on Grounded, mostly.
You know, once you actually get to Seattle, though, the pacing from there on out is not bad.
Yeah, I mean,
These first few hours leading up to the little Joel thing, it's all over the place, switching with characters, the pacing, and all that. It's just that's just a whole mess.
Yeah,
in editing. Because hey, now we're with Ellie, and they're holding guns, and after a snowball fight, now you're with Abby trying to survive. And then you're gonna come back to Ellie, riding her horse with guns. And then she's gonna find Pot and fuck Dina. Then we're gonna go back to Abby.
We gotta have a weed scene. Because we gotta be hip with the kids and have a weed scene.
Not just weed, but lesbian sex.
Yeah, it's a little.
I mean,
it's a little.
Honestly, that scene wasn't that bad.
It wasn't bad or anything like that.
It actually made sense. I mean, it was actually a tasteful sex scene. Unlike
I
a certain one that occurs later in the game.
Ooh, yeah.
I mean, that one could have been tasteful. They would have cut at a certain point, but no, they kept just showing.
Honestly, it would have been a lot more tasteful if Abby just got a strap on and just started fucking Owen in the back.
I mean, Owen seems like the guy who would like pegging. So
And
I
he's
don't
like,
know.
and he just gets pegged by her, and he's like,
No,
oh!
they would have just cut like a second after they rip her shirt off. Show her tits if you really want. Just cut, actually cut after he turns her around at the very latest. It would have been tasteful enough. It's not supposed to be just pure romantic love. It's supposed to be kind of like a mistake on his part. Just in the heat of the moment, they still have
It
feelings
was
for
the
each other.
heat of the moment.
Exactly.
My heart breaks. The heat of the moment. I don't care about stealth. Whoa.
They have the easiest stealth mode on too.
It's more fun this way.
It is.
I just like watching them get blasted. None of them heard that.
Exactly. You made them completely brain dead.
But as soon as they find you, man. So I've turned everything as far as grounded.
Oh yeah, they saw it when we did it.
Oh, did they see it?
Yeah, we were restrained.
I
when we
was.
did that.
Was I? I thought I wasn't. Oh,
Oh, we
whatever.
were.
Whatever. I forget things. Rosebud.
But yeah, other than that a tasteful sex scene and a fairly relatable one between them, this whole opening's just a mess story-wise.
Yeah.
And going back to characterization, shit, what is her ex's name? What is that guy's name? I mean, he's in the opening. He shows up at the end of day 2.
Owen?
Is it? No.
That's the guy that was just walking with her, right?
No, I mean Dina's ex.
Oh, Asian man.
Well, yeah, but what's his name?
I don't remember.
Exactly. He had more character development to him.
Oh.
He looks
Oh,
like,
no.
he looks like a Harold. I don't know why.
Oh, well, let's watch Abby get eaten.
But yeah, he's in the opening, then he shows up on day 2, and he dies at the end of day 3.
Yeah,
And day 3, you're traveling with him instead of Dina. When, honestly, I feel more of a connection between him and her as friends than Ellie and Dina
as lovers.
I mean, honestly, it's not the entirety of the game. The scene in the basement, the hip, cool weed smoking scene, that they actually seem like, yeah, they are getting into each other. Obviously, they fuck, but still.
I don't know. I feel like
The rest of the game, they don't even seem like a couple until you get to the farm bit. Then they actually seem like a married couple.
it's
And then Ellie decides to break her heart by being, oh, I gotta get my revenge, because Tommy shows up and just starts spouting shit like
Tommy threw his gimp leg at me.
He just shows up like the abusive uncle that he's essentially become, and just tells you to turn your life around to honor your dead surrogate father, who wouldn't have even wanted her to go on to any of that.
Yeah.
If he could have spoken to her after he got his head back, he would have told her, just let it go. He probably would have been...
Well, that's
He even said before he died, just do it, get it over with. He accepted it right then and there. He knows he's sinned in his life. He knows he's done a lot of wrong.
yeah, and that's why we had no problem with Joel dying. I had no problem with it. You know,
Joel had no problem with Joel dying.
Joel had no problem with Joel dying.
He wasn't suicidal, but he knew when his time was up, he was going to accept it.
He knew he was gonna get something. He was gonna get when you fling shit gets flung back. That's how we do. That's how we roll.
I mean, did people really think that someone's going to screw over in the entirety of humanity,
Yeah.
basically, and get away with it?
Am I supposed to be going this way? Okay, yeah, I am. was like,
He's
it
no
wasn't going
hero.
through.
There are no heroes.
It's no more heroes. It's kill or be killed.
Where's the patrol?
Oh, I guess I can skip this. Oh, okay. Let's see.
The closest person we get, the closest people I would say we get to heroes in this whole game are the Asian guy. I can't remember his name. And honestly, the next closest we get is probably Abby, only because she is also a shit person. But
I
she's
suppose if
less
we're
shitty than most of the others.
I suppose if we're going to talk about...
She bashes Joel's head in more than she needs to, but she has a motive.
Yeah.
She fucks her friend's husband, boyfriend, whatever.
Yeah.
Despite, which is very awful, obviously.
Yeah.
But for the most part, she's a fairly relatable character. She's not overly selfish. She's just very prideful.
With Jesse?
She
No.
is selfish, though.
Been together for so
Don't
long.
get me wrong, but not nearly as bad as.
And
some
people
other
would have been better with
Hell,
her.
even Ellie is much more selfish than she is in this game, especially.
Hey, how's
Well,
the
I
marriage
suppose
going?
while we're talking about characters, there is one that we haven't talked about yet.
You never really talked
The
to
kid.
some cat.
Oh, the other kid.
Yeah.
There isn't much to talk
Oh
about.
shit! What's the kid's name?
Ow.
I don't remember the kid's
Just-
name either.
I got the impression that you didn't really like
We should know their names if we're gonna do this.
her.
Give me a second.
Okay.
I don't.
She's
I.
a talented artist.
We'll know in a minute. Just give me a second to look it
I like
up.
that tattoo.
We can't just keep referring to them
What's so big of you?
what they look like. We gotta go a little
she wasn't right for
more specific.
Interesting.
Shut up.
Okay.
Snowland.
The kid you're talking about, it's Lev.
Lev. Okay. Okay. Back to what we were saying.
But,
So
second.
You can tie Shimmer up here.
Lev is
Jesse, that's the
Jesse.
That's the boy's name. Jesse, we got
I
Lev,
wish I had Jesse's girl.
and then Yara is Lev's sister,
Hey.
Okay.
who's also
You
Manny.
want to see something
Which-
spectacular?
People don't like him
your
for some
face
reason.
right
I think he's one of the better side
Nothing
characters.
is that spectacular.
He's there.
Come on.
True, but as far as personality goes and connecting with the main character of the time,
I mean
he does so more than Owen even, I think.
Okay.
Outside of cutscenes, you could tell they were close. And when he gets his head blown off, you actually kind of feel something for it. Other people just saying he's just a stereotype and that he's just bland kind of there. But he's got some character and some heart, despite the first scene you see him, he spits on Joel's corpse.
Yeah. So
People think that's just disrespectful, but be honest, if someone killed someone close to you, or someone close to you, you're really gonna respect them fully and be nice. You wouldn't do the same.
What do you think of this view, huh?
So, a lot of people, this is just what I've read online,
Yeah, this route has its.
but a lot of people did not like Lev either as a character. Which, for me,
Where do we sign in?
that character made a lot of sense in the context of where the world building was. Like, that was one of the reasons why they included that character.
Well, that whole
Because of the
what do you call
world.
it, a cult that she was forced into, that group.
Yes.
Yeah, that whole cult thing. Yeah, I'm
Jesse?
surprised we didn't come across a cult sooner
Right.
in this kind of
Oh, Eugene.
Yeah.
landscape. But still,
Man, he was
it's
funny.
important.
Oh,
It's also important for the most part to Abby's character because instead of letting her go after her sister, Abby chooses to help her.
Plus, tell me about.
Not really just to help her, but for her own selfish reasons. That's where she's really selfish. Not just with the whole Owen thing, but she helps Lev out because she feels so guilty about some of the stuff that she has done.
Yeah, it's really just because she can't. She's done terrible things at this point, and she's
struggling with it,
struggling hard.
which, again, why she's more relatable. She's done terrible things and struggling with it. Ellie doesn't struggle except minor PTSD or some PTSD from the violence itself.
Yeah.
More of it's from watching Joel die than anything that she's done.
It used to be a radio
I
tower.
mean, the only thing that she's horrified by is killing a pregnant woman.
Yeah.
Everything else, she's okay butchering everybody to get there.
Yeah.
And there. Come here.
So let's. No, I don't want to come.
Whenever Abby kills somebody, I mean, she's only really killed one person
Heads our last stop.
from Ellie's group
Take a look.
at the end of the day. But when she attacks them, does it like that, it's only in retaliation for them trying to hunt her down.
Yeah.
Once Abby kills Joel, they're done. They leave.
Big
They
tower
want
thing.
nothing to do with them. They're not there to antagonize them.
Yeah.
They're there to get revenge. They look at her and say, hey, you're good. All right, let's get home. And that's it.
And just think if they had killed Ellie, they would have.
Oh, Joel would have probably just killed himself at that point, and the game would be over for that side.
Well, no. Like,
Same clothes.
they killed both Joel and Ellie.
At the end,
They're
Yeah,
clean.
at the start of the game.
that would have been way too ballsy even for them.
Yeah, but think about it, because like if they had killed both of them, then Tommy would have been left, and he wouldn't have been able to. He wouldn't have been able to make it that far.
No, Tommy made it all the way out there without them, though.
Yeah, but he didn't.
He also would have been even more pissed off, so he might have. And he still would have done what he did.
I don't know.
A lot of the similar stuff would happen.
This is why I really don't. There's only one way they could have done it, and they didn't do
if
it.
they would have killed Ellie, it would have happened the way it did, except maybe a few more people of Abby's group would have lived.
That's an interesting.
Because she was already helping these people out that she shouldn't have been. She was gonna get in trouble for it regardless, and she does.
Yeah.
I think we should go out like Eugene.
Except there'd be
From a
more of her
stroke?
people around and less, a
Old
little bit
age.
less damage done on the
Living
group.
a long life.
You? No way. Come on. You're way too reckless.
And then at the end, when she gets captured by that group, one group, essentially pirates, she wouldn't have had any rescue. She would have died then.
Yeah.
Why are you wearing boots today? You know how you're gonna die?
Let me guess. You're gonna kill me?
What is this bitches talking about?
Hey, when we saw the last snow thing with Abby,
No.
wasn't it closer to nighttime,
Maybe.
or at least the storm was picking up a
Fuck
bit?
you.
Sorry.
How's it so nice now?
I think it's cutting to earlier in the day.
Oh. Exactly, this opening's just a mess.
Also, it could have been.
It's just a mess.
Yeah. I don't know.
This whole, everything up to Joel's death is a mess.
Hey, should we check these houses out?
If the whole game would have been structured like this, the whole thing would be just a fucking mess.
Yeah.
Thankfully, it's not. The rest
Yeah.
is detailed, story's not terrible.
Let's talk about the ending for a second, because we've
The
also.
ending's a whole nother topic.
The ending is, for me, the worst part of the game.
Fuck.
And here's why.
The temperature dropped.
Essentially,
I think you're
you
right.
have a journey that's pointless. Essentially pointless. Some people that actually like the game may argue with me and say that the journey wasn't pointless. Because she basically learned to let go, or blah blah blah, or whatever. Wait, you have to still be on the horse.
No, it was pointless though. She literally just lost everything for nothing. I mean, people do pointless things, and pointless things happen, sure. But, come on.
Here's something that a lot of people have a problem with. For some reason, I saw a lot of people when I was reading the reviews, because this is like a very early part of the game. A lot of people were complaining about the fact that this moose was ripped apart by a couple of infected humans. People say that moose hides are really thick, and the idea that, rotting human hands could rip that thing apart.
In the first game, we saw infected just snap necks and rip heads open, so there's clearly more than.
Yeah, but with humans, it's a little bit different. I don't know. That was something that somebody listed off, and I was like, I guess you're right. I guess that is a little far fetched, but
They just sink their teeth in.
More important.
The jaw is pretty tough.
This way.
I always thought that
I mean,
like they had their
physically-
bodies
physically,
just.
people as is without any infection.
I always thought their they had like acidic bodies. So, you know.
Possible, I guess, but
'Cause
really,
they're fungus. They're poison.
Generally speaking, if they wanted to, we could bite our own fingers off as easy as a carrot.
Yeah.
That's just a fact. It's disturbing, but
It's carrot time.
That's exactly how easy it is with our mouths.
Yeah. Makes me think of the...
A human jaw gets just shut for whatever reason. There's no way of getting that open very easily at all. More than likely, if anything, someone probably killed the most, lost it, and then they came along and started eating it.
So, we get to the end, and basically, it's like a final boss showdown a la Metal Gear Solid 4 on top of the tank tower or whatever, between Snake and Liquid Ocelot. And they're just punching each other to death, and one of them is winning. And my problem with this is that by the end of it, there's no talking for one thing. Just talk.
And just to throw it out, Ellie's a piece of shit in that entire scene.
Yeah.
She literally forces Abby to fight just by threatening a random innocent person's life.
Yeah.
I mean, she's really so fucking traumatized and upset about the stuff she did. She wouldn't have done that. That's just fucked up.
I don't know. She's
a shitty person. She might be even shittier than Joel at this point.
Yeah, at this point, it's kind of whatever.
I'm not saying she's a bad written character or bad character. She's just a shitty person.
Yeah. So she was the cure at one point, at the end of the first game, and Joel took that away from her. It's stated multiple times about how her choice was taken away from her. That we have no choice in some things in the matter. And I think that was a theme that was, running rampant throughout the story.
It was.
Sometimes shit happens and you don't have an option, you don't have a choice in things. And I think that's part of the reason. And I honestly thought a better message in this case would have been to have, Abby with Lev find, not the Fireflies, they don't have to be the Fireflies could be dead, because, humanity may have created other groups, other groups of survivors that are trying to develop, a cure. And they find this group, because, they want to do something meaningful after all that wanton murder and violence and destruction. So, they find these people, and they're like, oh, yeah, we're going to, we're going to help develop a cure. And it's like, oh, I'm going to, help them out, help them figure things out, and, be a part of their community, and, because I can fight, I'm a strong person. She gets captured by the pirates, and then Ellie, still fucking revenge hungry, thirsty, whatever, she comes in, destroys the entire pirate camp, lets their slaves or whatever those people were for. I guess they were slaves. They were just keeping them there for amusement. I don't know.
They made them do tricks, probably.
But they, I guess, are we doing this now? Is that what we're doing?
This whole opening's a mess, like I've already said.
Okay, here we go. The story loaded up. The story's like, oh yeah, you're supposed to be doing this. Anyways.
Want to look around?
I gotta take this up something quick. I'm getting dry.
Alright, go ahead.
Anyways.
There's a hole in the roof over there.
So she's about to kill her. And she's like, wait, I gotta help Lev, and we gotta get them over to,
Thanks. Look.
I gotta get them over to the new research place or whatever. They're trying to work on a cure. They're trying to find a cure. And she's like, they're trying to find a cure. They talk. It's just And here's something I don't know whether it was ever addressed or not. Does Abby know that she's immune?
I think the only person who finds out she's immune that
Is
didn't
Abby's
know-
friend.
No, the only person who finds out that Ellie is immune that didn't know already by the start of this game is Dina. Because they've been covering that shit up
That also was
the entirety of the game.
that was also a little strange.
I don't know if Tommy knew or knows.
No, Tommy probably
He
knew.
probably knows. Joe probably told him.
Tommy and his wife knew. Joel knows, and that's it. Those are the only three.
And then she tells Dina at one point just because she was able to walk through the
Please
spores.
die of old
Yeah.
age because you get infected.
But they tattooed over it some way or another, and they covered it up completely.
Oh yeah, they tattooed over the bite.
They burned it and they tattooed it, I think. They really went out of their way to cover it up. They didn't tell anybody a damn thing about it.
I think this is just a thing to find out.
Honestly, if they were to have that conversation you mentioned, I could see Abby saying, "Screw you! I'm not giving you that opportunity to be useful. Go find another way," and then leaving. I could see that happening.
I honestly would have liked them to. They don't have to like each other.
I mean, that would have been even better than what
They don't.
we got.
They don't even have to come to a mutual understanding, but they are both good people in a sense, and they come to realize that this is what we should do. This is the best thing. This is the best outcome. Instead of us killing each other, especially Ellie, I get my chance back to be something, to have my life mean something. Okay.
I can make that.
Because I fucked it up with the kid, and God, I am so sorry. I don't know what
really gotta sprint.
I keep forgetting what the run button is. It's amazing how just holding on to that button makes a difference. It's only for like a second. Anyways. So,
That still looked bad, but that was a
I'm
fluid
in.
motion.
it's
either way.
fine. It's fine. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it.
Me too.
The movement was fluid, at
We
least.
got this. We got
Should we
this.
check for supplies?
Yeah, fuck. Wait a minute. Whoa.
Whoa.
Where are we going? Is it this way?
I just realized you skipped that whole opening scene where that guy gives her a sandwich.
Oh, yeah, you mean the bigot sandwich?
Yeah, you skipped the whole bar scene.
Yeah, I just went through that. I was like, whatever. I don't give a shit. Why can't we move this thing? Am I going mad?
That's one of the questions that was unanswered. Not just whatever happened to the Fireflies, are they completely gone? Is there any way to make a cure? What does a bigot sandwich taste like?
It tastes like a sandwich, except it's made by somebody you don't like.
Does that affect the
Got
taste?
some alcohol. A couple of rags.
You might lose your appetite by eating it.
But what if he felt so bad he put more effort into it and made it the best sandwich ever? Would it be neutral then? Or?
I mean,
she didn't eat it, obviously.
so we'll never know, but, you know.
This is a game where you want to ask those questions as opposed to some of the other ones that are a little more obvious because you know you're not getting answers to them.
I see spores in there. Nice sand.
So,
Like, another question, what is Dina
so
see in
she,
Ellie?
she's like, okay.
See, look, she's even putting a mask on now just to play the part. She's not even telling her yet.
Yeah. So she's like, okay, I will go with you. I will go to the beach. We will go to the research team. And they get there.
In this ending you're talking about, yeah.
Yes,
Sorry.
yes. And they get there, and she's like, oh, she's what we're missing. The cordyceps in her brain is what we were missing all this time. Her brain will now fix the problem. And she dies,
I don't know.
obviously.
I think we're above it.
She's undone the injustice Joel did. Joel, the villain. The villain of Last of Us.
You know, I think it would be more... tonally, I know what a better ending would be than that. Because that's kind of opposite to the tone of the rest of the game. As perfect as
Yeah, but that's my point. That's my point.
Yeah, it's a hopeful
The
ending. in that
world
sense.
is so fucked. It's fucked from the beginning. Let me make this clear. The world is so fucked by the start of the game. And then they just keep pounding it over and over. Just terrible thing after terrible thing happening. And then you get to the end. And it should be, for me, I know what they did. And you know what? It was risky, blah, 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 artsy, whatever. But it also was kind of dumb. It was kind of dumb because it made the whole journey just feel like it wasn't interesting in a narrative sense. It wasn't interesting.
There's no way in hell they would survive it.
When I played it through the first time, I was like, really? It was like, that's what you're gonna do? You're not gonna even kill her.
Seriously, there's no way in hell they'd be alive right now. There's no way that thing would have stood there, and those things would have approached them closer than they could up.
It's fine.
It's okay because it's a game, but still.
It's fine. Like, I'm hell-bent on this because I just feel like I got cheated. I went through the entire game, and that's what they gave me. That's was their thing. And I know that was intentional.
But it couldn't have been that intentional because they don't want you hitting Ellie by the end of the game.
Too late, I already hate her.
And if you care about this other character, you're not going to like her by the end because she literally threw all that away, hurt all these other people just for her revenge story.
Yeah,
You can't like her after that.
I don't have to like her. I just want the world to heal. That's all I want.
It's not going to, though. I don't think that's part of the story. Is it's never going to heal.
That's just a personal preference for me. It would have been nice.
And
you know what? You know what it would have led to? You know what it would have led to?
It would be nice, but I think, like you said, it's too fucked. I don't think we can go back at this point.
But that's what I mean. It gets so fucked.
How many years is this into the apocalypse? Like now, 20, 25?
Everything is fucked now, and now that everything is like beyond, like it's FUBAR. It's fucked up up beyond all recognition. Because everything is FUBAR now. Where do you go with a sequel? Where do you go? Are we playing as Ellie still?
There'd probably be a new group completely separate then. That's why this game...
Are we playing as Ellie?
No, that's why I like the original model I brought up, the trilogy model, because there'd be 3 games and then you're done. If you really want to revisit it, new people, and it would make more sense than 2 games and then a whole new group. Because when you only have 2 games and you want to make a 3rd one, the idea of making it a trilogy is just so damn tempting. And people go with it regardless. They're going to, in the next one, somehow either continue this or go back to it. If they even make another one. I mean, they spoon-fed it a Game of the Year award, so it's possible. But still, the trilogy idea, Abby's group, then Joel dying, and then next game, basically this game, after that event. Maybe even fleshed out more. You get instead of this whole opening bit with up to here, you get fucking the trap that you said. You get more of that stuff, more character bonding moments before they start dying. Actually flesh out the characters a little more.
Yeah.
Then by the end, you get to the ending, and then, like what you said, is a possibility.
I'm impressed with us.
For me, it's whatever. I don't know. It just left a bad feeling and a bad taste in my mouth, and it wasn't like there are movies, there are stories that end bad. End really, really bad.
Very true, very true. But
really bad, and it feels justified. It didn't feel justified to me.
And how's this for an idea? We go with the trilogy idea. When we get to the end of the game, Ellie goes with her. They get to the place. They look at Ellie and say, "Hey, you're exactly what we're looking for." They just shoot Lev and Abby dead, then say, "All right, bring her in. We're gonna run some tests on her."
I think
that's not even that they're gonna rip her brain out. They're just gonna run tests and see what they can get out of her, which is probably gonna be damn near torturous.
That would be interesting. I think that's a good idea. So here's the first, like...
At that point, it's not like it's only one game with Abby that you're already grown attached to her, but then she dies at the end instead of Ellie.
So here's the first, like, gameplay mechanic, puzzle mechanic.
Then, if they want to go back to a fourth game, all new stuff, what happened to Ellie, you find out later. And maybe, like, a journal.
In, like, a side story or something like that.
You either come across the lab or whatever abandoned, or you find a journal somewhere or something saying, like, hey, we operated on her for this long or whatever, and then we found out we just had to remove the brain or whatever. We found a vaccine that would help prevent people from turning, but would not be an all-time cure or whatever. There's recipes, but the lab got overrun before they could mass produce it.
Yeah.
Because there's no way they're going to mass produce stuff, period. But they're going to try to, obviously. Then the next game they come across it, yeah, that part of the story is done, the whole cure idea is done, you're with this new group, they got their own issues, you're dealing with that. If they really want, maybe they can even tie it back to the community with Tommy and all them. If they really want to, but that's not even necessary.
How far are we from
that
the lookout?
No, we're...
Tommy's just going to be a bitter old crippled fuck for the rest of his life, and that's fine.
Good for
He kind of put himself in that spot.
Yeah.
Honestly, just that would have been a better story right there than what we got. But no, they decided to rush it in. Hey, we'll play as Ellie for half of it. Then we'll try to make you play as a character you're not going to like after
Few minutes out.
the first couple hours.
I would have just liked her to give her a chance. You know.
It feels like instead of just the first game they went with the narrative completely. This game they tried taking the fans' input and what they wanted into account as well as writing the story.
I don't think they did at all. Because after seeing some...
Well, we're playing as Ellie for the start, and how many hours into it? Like, people wanted to play as Ellie. That's probably what they did. They picked that, but then they went with the story. Instead of integrating it properly, they just put pieces of each one in there and just stuck it together, hoping that would work.
I know, girl.
But in the first game, they wrote the story out, and they said, hey, you know what, nobody's heard of this, nobody has any notions of these characters. Let's just go with it.
Yeah.
We're just going to write a really good story. First game has a great story. It's the thing that the game really has going for it. It's not the gameplay, it's not the levels, it's the story and the characters for the most part. Even the small side characters in the first game.
Where are you?
I hate this fucking part right here.
Oh yeah, this is just irritating. I don't know why they... Hey, can we go with that 3 fucking game model?
Their snow textures aren't that good enough where you can just like follow the tracks.
But hey, we go with that trilogy model. This whole section's not even playable. It's not even a thing you do. That'd be better.
But then you don't see the weed scene.
They can have it at another point. Maybe they come across it on their way to Seattle. I don't fucking know. They can do all that later. They don't have to do it now. I mean, even the relationship seems a little rushed. I mean, some relationships are rushed like this, but still.
Thank God. Come on.
Wow, you actually found her quick. It took me 20 minutes my first time.
Trust me.
Yeah, I just kind of traced my tracks around it. Yeah.
Yeah, this whole opening up to Joel, you didn't have to see from Ellie's perspective at all. You didn't have to see Abby's really that much. Maybe just a little bit. That would have been the last mission of the game then, just showing up here, getting chased by them, running into Joel, that whole bit. That would be the end of the second game, and we go to the third and we actually get on with the revenge stuff.
Boom.
You been here? Rode by it.
You know, they could have done this open segment stuff with the third game,
Let's make sure it's
our
clear.
imaginary third game, if the cutaway was, hey, I'm Joel. But they changed the story, they tweaked the story.
No, actually, they could have done stuff like this in the snow and all that stuff.
They tweaked the story a little bit.
How's this for an idea? We have the stuff in the snow, and they're trying, but instead of them going out on patrol, they're trying to get back to the community, and that's how the game starts.
See another way in?
Because they really don't show that. She just kind of gets knocked the fuck out, and then they show her getting back.
It would also be kind of cool to, like, show change the story a little bit.
The opening, you're riding the horse with Joel's body on the back, trying to get him back to bury him. That's the opening for the third game.
Well,
Oh, that'd be a pretty good enough start for it.
What's going on here?
And the pacing would be bad. You'd get back, you'd be treated for your head injury or whatever, and then you'd go on from there. It would work.
Definitely Eugene.
Eugene.
Rip Eugene.
Was he in the first game? I don't.
He could have just been one of the random Fireflies for all I know. I don't know. It's
Was it
possible.
Firefly?
He served with Tommy.
I had no idea.
Yeah. They got into some real dark shit.
Like what?
He said he blew up a checkpoint at Denver QZ.
This story they're talking about,
In 2
where
seconds.
they're talking about the crazy shit they did when they were eco-terrorists, essentially.
Tommy tortured some big Fedra general.
I would have,
I don't buy Tommy.
that could be a third game
He could do
It
worse.
could be, but...
where they
But
where
honestly,
it shows Tommy.
the fact that they heard these stories already, but they don't see Tommy in this light, really, and then they're really surprised when they see what he does, that doesn't make as much sense, because apparently they've heard these stories.
Oh wow.
Why would they be made up?
Well,
Workbench.
because
Maybe it was-
talking about it is one thing, seeing it is another.
True, but wouldn't it be more impactful if they don't even hear these stories because he didn't want to just bother them with it, and then they see what he can do,
I mean, it's whatever.
and then you find out later on, oh shit, he was involved with the Fireflies. He did this and this and that. I believe it now. I see it. I believe it. Just because hey, I saw what he already did. Or better yet, not even explain it. Just show that he's able to do that. Maybe third game. Obviously, all the flashbacks in this game to Ellie and Joel
Ellie,
would be in the third game, in the
there's no
hypothetical
staff
game.
down there.
Not sure where we'd put them, but they would be there.
Yeah.
But actually, the game wouldn't open with this in the third one. This is where the real story really starts. But the opening scene would be the Abby flashback with her dad, as her coming across him dead, crying her eyes out. Cut.
Yeah.
Then we cut to Dina finding Ellie on the floor, and they gotta take Joel home to bury him. That's the opening.
That's obviously a sex den. That's why he didn't tell you about it.
So in the second game, at the end, we show the death scene of Joel getting killed. Then,
Yeah.
if we're not gonna show it in the
It's the end of the second cut from there. Third game, you show
Okay.
the Abby flashback, then you get to these moments here.
yeah, okay.
And hey, the reason they're smoking weed, holy shit, she was just traumatized. Fuck it, we're gonna do that.
Weed.
If they really need to show the weed thing.
Whoa, weed.
Or better yet, on the trek to Seattle, they come across it, and it's a bonding moment.
Again,
Which
very,
honestly makes more sense because they're gonna fuck at the end of this.
very,
The
very.
relationship's not as rushed. It's kind of built on them liking each other, then the trauma, then the trek. Kind of slowly builds. And you see it along the way. As opposed to, hey,
Again.
they kissed, and they fucked the next day, and then
Oh.
we cut far into a journey, and we're supposed to think they're a couple.
Very, very pandering. That whole thing. Very pandering.
Now, the acting was decent, though, between
I
them.
mean, yeah.
This is the
I'm not-
one scene in the entire game they actually feel like...
They feel like a couple, but like I just.
It's this and the farm scene. Other than that, they don't seem like an actual
It just
couple.
reeks. You know what it reeks of? It doesn't feel natural. It reeks of like a boardroom meeting. It's like how we.
I mean, some of the scenes right here in this moment, in the basement, the Lisa's just obviously pandering to weed culture.
To the crowd.
But them together in this scene and in the farm scenes, it actually feels like real people.
Yeah,
that
it feels
are into each
feels
other.
real. I'm
The
not.
rest of the game,
I'm not trying to shit on it.
The rest of the
It's
game in
just-
Seattle, they don't seem like a couple. She's just kind of there.
She's.
And they take her out for one of the days because she's
And then she
having
gets a
morning
baby
sickness.
belly, and then she's like, "Oh no, now I'm useless. My stats have gone down."
Now Jesse showed up. All right, you go out with him now.
Infected.
You might as well because he's only going to be here for the day.
You don't even fight. You don't even need to fight these guys. You just run.
But yeah, this would be the final segment in the second game then.
Yeah, this would be good. This is a good segment to end on. You make it a little bit more cinematic and impactful.
And then you run into Joel and you bash his head. This is already pretty cinematic. Like, holy shit, what's gonna happen next?
I feel like there could have been a little bit more.
There could have been more, but it's already a start. It's a decent enough start. It's a lot of infected running on you. And you can't
That's why I feel like things should be building up to a climax in the second one if we're going to make this like the lead up. That's why I feel like some of the characters that are with them, like either they had more people with them,
Oh, they did have more people, and they lost a bunch of them.
and they lost a bunch of people off
But
screen.
at the same time, not only would they do that, but the characters that are still here, you would actually know them more by this scene. When Abby kills Joel, then you'll be conflicted. When Manny spits on Joel's body, you're like, hey, come on, you have to do that, man. That was kind of shitty. We like you, but come on. Just like just like they would have did Abby's side and then Ellie's side in this game, it would have a similar effect with Ellie killing everybody. Did you really have to push these people? We
I'm
like
trying
them
to think
now.
which way did my
Through.
through there. Okay, I was getting lost. I was like, which way am I supposed to be going?
Oh, don't get hit again.
No, we're trying to make it tense.
But they don't make us. But they only won the second game. And they went Abby first and then Ellie. And then the whole time Ellie's killing these people, you're thinking, hey, these are decent people. You don't have to do this. And it's really tragic then because she hasn't seen them in the way the audience has already.
Yeah.
That would have worked. That would have made this game work better as it is. But if you're not gonna go that route, 3 games. This is the end of the second game. Cuts on Ellie's face.
And this would have been at the end of the game, it would have been a happy surprise.
Like, holy shit, it's Joel.
It's Joel, holy shit. Yo, that's cool. Yo, he's in this game.
Where's Ellie? Is she okay? There's Tommy. Holy shit.
Holy shit, we just
They're
threw
saving the day. Quick, this way. Holy shit, Abby, Joel now. We love Abby now. We got Joel, we got Tommy.
These guys are gonna team up. It's gonna be great.
super best friends.
Yes, super best.
Cut 20 minutes.
Oh no.
That didn't age quite so well. Right then and there. Well, so much for planning my this next game. See what I mean, though? This would be perfect as an ending of that second game.
I can't fucking craft for some reason. They won't let me.
It's because you're not even doing anything. It's going to lead to a cutscene.
We gotta warn everyone. Come back with a cleanup crew.
They should at least allow me to craft. Fuck.
What's them windows?
I'm like dead, by the way. I have no fucking.
Oh, there's a little infected fighting, but that's about it.
Get to the door!
I have like one hit and I'm dead.
Let them get it. But yeah, this would be the ending. The whole fight, the running from the horde, teaming up with them, the pleasant surprise, all these happy feelings getting shoved into the audience.
And some people probably would feel anxious, like, oh man, is
someone gonna die?
is someone gonna die?
But
You
then they
know?
make it, and everybody's so happy, and they're just all brought up.
And they're like, by the way, what's your name? Oh, my name's Joel.
I mean,
And then she like freaks
I
out.
heard people say that.
I didn't.
That I wasn't careful to give his name, but let's be honest, he's right outside of his community, and he doesn't know this person. What is giving a name gonna do? It's not like everybody knows who he is. Especially when he thinks he literally massacred everybody at that place.
That
I don't think it was expected.
that does bring up a question. How does she know what he looks like?
She just knew by the name.
How do you find somebody on just a name alone in the post-apocalypse?
Did he give his last name?
No.
Easy solution. She looked at him and says, Joe Miller? Or whatever it is, I think that's it. He says, yeah, why? Bang! Shotgun right to his kneecap. Easy fix right there. But yeah, that'd be perfect. This whole tense scene. Everybody's caught up.
I still only had one hit.
Oh, that sucks.
Oh my god.
is gonna suck. But
This is I wasn't.
But yeah, you get to this tense moment. You meet up with them. It's a pleasant surprise. It's you can fight with them.
Give me a fucking health
It's
pack.
like you're all gonna work together.
No,
It's
I
gonna be
don't want
great.
ammo. Give me a health pack.
Shoot him in the face.
Ugh. I made
Just
it.
get ready to run and gun.
I was very fucking sloppy with this.
You can do it. It's not bad.
I'm just trying to find a health pack.
Still not letting you craft.
Nope.
Damn.
Fuck me.
You can do it. Just don't get hit. Don't try to fight him head on. You'll be fine. But yeah, this whole scene here is nice. It would be that brief moment of, like you said, running into them. Holy shit, it's them?
Yeah.
This is a great surprise. She's saved.
Sure,
this is tense.
these are the good guys.
Yeah, this is tense. Then we have the whole execution scene, and then it cuts. The audience, they went through the biggest range of emotions in a matter of like 20 minutes. At
20,
most.
30 minutes.
You go from the
What the fuck?
Come on. You go from the whole tense, she might die, to the pleasant surprise and joy of seeing Joel, to more tense, to just being happy they all made it, and then just complete shock. She kills one of the favorite characters, if not the favorite character from the first game.
Well, at least I know where he's coming from.
Yeah. Just have your back to the wall.
Can't do that. Not in this game. I was pretty sure I fucked that up.
And part 3 start off with the whole Abby back story, flashback, whatever you call it. Cut to Ellie escaping, trying to get Joel's body back. And we go through her side of the story. And we come back to Abby. Because we have the second game, it's all Abby's story. You don't want to play as her as the start of the next game. You want to actually then go back to Ellie. Doing Abby first would only work in this game as it is. To make it better. But there's just some easy fixes that if they had somebody in the fucking boardroom who could have brought them up, they would have had a better story.
No! No! God, it's such bullshit.
You know how, at the same time, that's actually kind of realistic in this world.
I just like...
That's what would happen to most people.
Yeah, I know. But it's just
It
dumb.
sucks. It sucks. Wait, do you have any don't you have any other guns?
No, I don't have anything. All I have... This is supposed to be a very tense moment, and I enjoyed this moment when I played it, but, like, I don't have any health.
Just watch your back.
I let myself get hit a couple times because I was like, oh, whatever. It doesn't matter.
Oh, don't.
Don't worry. I got it! No!
Don't even run close to him. You gotta stay
I
back.
don't run! That one just spawned in front of me.
You walked. He was running from the other side of the room. You ran into him. Just like I said, try to back yourself.
Some of those deaths were not.
Kill that fucker.
See, like they literally just popped up behind me.
There's always.
Oh!
Until you actually have to do anything, just get your back to a wall.
Oh no! See! Look at that
To
shit.
a wall. Just try.
Okay, I will show you how pointless it is. Let's put the back to the wall. We'll see what happens.
Shoot him. Check the other sides. Just going back and forth on here.
No, it's fine. We're fine.
Joel's got him.
I don't care.
Headshot? Headshot?
I missed.
Yeah, you gotta hit him before anything. The other guy's not even running for you. You have to shoot him anyways because he's timing and stuff. Save Tommy quick. Click
Tommy's fine. Let's let him do it.
See, this dialogue's great. It'll work as into the second game. They're bonding. characters you loved from the first game that you haven't seen a lot yet. To the left. Focus on the guy behind you.
Get rid of that one.
Still with her. Make that shot.
So it's starting to get turned up a bit.
Right.
Yeah, I know. God. There's like 3 of them over there. It's fucking ridiculous. We can't be over here for that long.
We have to eventually get him.
Oh, God. Oh, God damn it. God, no!
See, stay in the fucking corner.
I couldn't! I'm
Don't turn your back on! Don't!
No!
Don't put your back! Don't stop running, you fuck!
Get the fuck out of there! Oh my God!
See, you just don't turn your
this
back
won't
on.
this won't be a problem later when I can actually heal myself. But that was like legitimately a challenge that I made for myself. Oh my God! Oh jeez! Oh fuck!
But this whole segment is great between the 3 of them. I know I sound like a broken record, but damn, it's good.
Alright. Well, we're gonna skip that.
Yeah, we know what happens.
We know what happens. There's only one cutscene we're not going to skip.
Which is... Oh, yeah.
We had to take a second to think about it.
Abby getting plowed.
Yeah, that's the one. If we get that far, yeah.
We'll get there eventually, probably, but who knows when that'll be.
Yeah.
This isn't a short game by any means.
Yeah, that's the other thing. I think what we'll do is...
And there's always a chance where you get bored going through the Ellie stuff again, so...
Yeah, I say we stop as soon as we get to, as soon as Joel dies.
This actually sounds like normal conversation. This is... They actually seem like two people that are into each other. Not like a couple, but 2 people that are into each other.
I love the facial animations. They're really good.
This is realistic pillow talk. Let's be honest.
It's just pillow talk, baby.
It really is. This is the kind of dumb shit you talk about after that, especially when you're getting to know someone like this.
Yeah.
It's not like in other stuff where people look at each other and say, that was the most magical moment of my life.
Yeah.
Or one of them turns over and says, was it good for you? Okay.
Yeah, you know, like
We
I
talk about random shit.
used.
how it
It's
is.
the pointless conversations that you remember.
Actually, it was a decent scene. And honestly, when Jesse walked in, I laughed my ass off.
Just gonna skip this.
You see him get shot in this one, though.
I'm not. We're not gonna. People know what happens.
Yeah, you get shot in his kneecap. That's.
If you're watching this,
I don't care how tough you are. You get shot in your kneecap.
I mean,
you're not gonna walk.
it's kind of too late to say this, but if you're watching this, because this is you want to see like the game for what it is, and judge.
We're
for
gonna
yourself.
show things. The gameplay is all gonna be there. Of
The
course.
gameplay is the only thing I care about.
We're gonna pick and choose cinematics.
Because we'll show the gameplay is all I care for showing because
It's the best feature of the game.
it's the best part of the game. But also we're talking about the story ad nauseum, so there's no reason. And people have like I said, people have already beaten this horse to death.
This game's over a year old.
Yeah.
Joel? Tommy?
Mario.
Hell, even in the second game, if they wanted to, they could have shown the last thing as is, and then cut to Ellie for this bit here, if they really wanted to.
The best feature of this game is the snow tech. Look at that snow.
Yeah. But hell, they could have done it just for this scene in there, and that would have been that. But
Yeah.
it would have added a little more tension to it. Or then have her just walk in. And both could work.
Well, yeah.
There it is.
Or, better yet,
Joel? Tommy?
she walks in on the little talking where he's, after they shotgun his leg, they're just talking to him briefly. She walks in on that. Then they hold Ellie down and bash his head in.
So,
Like, you don't even know what's going on. They cuts with Abby getting his name, Joel Miller. Yeah, why? Cut to Ellie quick.
Mhm.
It's even more of a shock. And then you walk in on that as Ellie.
do. Fun times.
Instead of walking on this, you're walking on him leaned up against there, and then she takes a swing. All in front of her.
Get her down! Get off me! Get her hand! Get the fuck off me!
I feel bad for Nora.
You got her! Look, you got her! Okay?
See, look at Manny. He stopped the guy from kicking her.
Fucking die!
I mean, he had a reason to kick her, too. She just slashed his face.
Let him go!
Who is that?
Let him
She
go!
snuck in.
Why aren't you posted up outside?
We didn't think anyone was gonna show up.
What the hell did you expect? We gotta get out of here before the whole town's on top of us. You're done.
You want what I want, right?
End it. Now.
Yeah, seriously, man.
And at this point, they're literally not there for those people. They're just here for Joel to take him out.
Joel,
This would be the perfect ending of a second game.
fucking get up!
You see Joel for a few minutes, just they bring him back at the end, and just to do this. It'd be the biggest gut punch
Joel, please
and the
get up!
boldest move while keeping the story intact.
Come on.
Right there, that's where they would have
Burn in hell, pendejo.
Fucking kill you!
No, they could have
Either right there or right before he spit on her. Cut there.
Manny.
Yeah, Manny was just about to shoot her, but at the same time, that's a reasonable response.
That guy.
Well, yeah, he really wants to kill her. Manny just doesn't want to be followed back or anything to happen. He's looking out for his people with that. At the same time, he stopped the guy from kicking her because there's no... Yeah, they should probably kill her for their sake, but at the same time, they shouldn't make her
Knock
suffer.
her out.
They could have cut there even, too.
Yeah, they could have cut it there. And then credits.
Yeah.
And your fucking jaw is on the floor.
You're sitting there like, what the hell did I just watch? They show the Abby flashback.
They
and
did. Okay.
No, then they show the Abby flashback start of the third game. Then they cut right back to here. And that's how the game starts. Then you go through the snow bullshit. Then you go back with Joel's body. You bury him. Instead of this stupid cut right here. This cut sucked.
Yeah.
And say, hey, we just got him back.
We only critique because we care. Like, if we didn't care...
That whole opening segment with Ellie would be the ride back, and we'd get to here. That would be the third game.
If we didn't
Damn, the pacing would have been so much better.
If we didn't care, we wouldn't be expressing things the way we do. Thinking about it thoughtfully. Like, I especially, I only critique things because I want things to be good. And sometimes things aren't good. You make choices, you make mistakes. You get with you end up with a mixed bag, you know. It is what it is.
Could I sit down, please?
Yeah, and after the whole opening with getting back, you have this real heart-to-heart emotional scene. It would have been too good. At this point, what's done is done, though, and there's nothing they can do about it.
Yep. I wonder where this goes. What is this?
We can always look to other franchises to tell a better story or continue a story on.
Yeah, I don't. I'll play if they come out with a third game. I'll play it.
I don't even know what they would do with it, but
I don't know what they would do either, and that's probably one of the most exciting and terrifying things.
in this case, more terrifying than coming from the last game, honestly.
Yeah, because they're not the best when it comes to storytelling, and I think this product shows that it was pretty half baked. Oh, his last name is Miller. I didn't realize that.
Yeah, I thought I saw it, but yeah, that would have been the way to do it. And make sure you're right to fix up that minor plot hole.
Not that.
Not that it was necessary, but
Not that there couldn't be another Joel Miller out there. No, there's only one Joel Miller.
I mean, yeah, it's a common name, but in this world, that is a
isn't-
lot less common. Specifically, a first and last name to match.
No, I guess.
I mean, in theory, yeah, the first name's common, the last name's common, but having them together is still fairly uncommon, even right now, with normal humanity here. I'm sure they have a general description of the guy, too.
We'll just kinda leave
Older,
this.
bearded man.
Let's kind of leave this on this shot for now. This is where we're gonna stop, but
Alright.
I'll save the game here. But yeah, we'll continue this next time.
That's a lot of dead people.
That's a lot.
Oh, I see.
This is like the ending of Private Ryan.
I really like this cemetery.
Saving Private
You
Ryan.
got tombstones, you got crosses, you even got a Star David out there. Which, I think somebody said somewhere that Dina's supposed to be Jewish. I'm assuming that's supposed to be her sister.
Maybe
We can speculate. We can't.
We can.
But what we can't do is walk out there and actually read the headstones, because that would be too good of
We
a
can
thing.
imagine. Yeah. And that's really that's The Last of Us 2. If we decide to come back and make another video playing portions of the game, which I think we will, I'll have to look.
It'll take a while to get to our best episodes, which will be the Skyscraper Abbey scenes and the Rat King, of course.
Yeah, and
Honestly, if anything, that'll be our motivation to get through the game, at least to get to that point.
yeah, try to get.
And by the time we get through that, we're gonna figure out that holy shit, we're almost done.
There's gonna be a lot of dead air by the time we get through like the first couple of days and shit like that. But yeah, that's The Last of Us 2, at least for now. Last of Us Part 2. Part 2.
Last of Us Part 2, Part 1. And do we have any sponsors for the night?
No, we don't have any sponsors.
That's right, we're completely self-sustained tonight.
Yeah.
Enjoy.
Enjoy.
Don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button down there. Smash the shit out of it. Buy the merch. And remember, say what you want.
What is this idiot? Want to become famous by followers and viewers on... That's funny. That's funny. Wow.
I was gonna end with a really fucked up joke, and I just didn't think I should do it.
Nah, it would have been in poor taste.
It would have been, but
Would've-
then again, we ended it